first meeting of the new year for 2026. So I hope all of you guys had a wonderful new year and a great Christmas holiday. And as you guys know, today is actually our 2026, the first half of the year officer elections. So it's a very special day. So if you are a new guest joining us today, uh, essentially, I think I see that Selena's asking for the agenda. Unfortunately, I do not think it was sent out in the recent email, but I believe how we will do the officer elections for today is let's set the maybe like the first half of the meeting or the first portion of the meeting, we can conduct our officer elections. And then for the rest of the meeting, maybe we can do table topics, or if you guys want to do those mini debates similar to what we did before we went on break, we can also do that. So it's also up to you guys. Selena, did you have a question?
I was going to run for officer elections, but it kept blocking me from editing the document. So do you think I could run for vice president of membership again?
Yeah, of course. Let me put your name. Thank you, Selena, for letting us know. Let's see. Okay, and I will send the officer elections sign up in the chat. So if you are a relatively new member, or even if you have been with us longer, I highly suggest all of you take the great opportunity to put your name down as one of the candidates for our many positions available. Actually, currently we have four uh, officer positions with no one signed up for. So please, even if you are a new member, I highly suggest you sign up because this is a very great experience to teach you guys about leadership, and it's also very fun working alongside the other team members as well. So let me know if you guys have any trouble with that. But again, I highly, highly encourage you all to give it a try. So currently we have Vice President of Public Relations still open, and then Secretary, Treasurer, and Sergeant at Arms also with no one signed up so far. So I'll give that a second, but I'll go ahead and do my last presidential introduction for FLGC. And with that being said, I hope all of you are doing well and ready for another exciting meeting at the Future Leaders Gavel Club. My name is Claire, and it is an honor to be your current club president, and I would like to officially call this meeting to order for the last time. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our guests, and we sincerely hope you all will enjoy and learn from this experience. The Future Leaders Gavel Club is a Toastmasters club open to middle and high school students, in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As you all know, our usual meetings have three parts: a prepared speech section, a table topics or impromptu speaking section, and then finally the evaluation section. But today is obviously a special day, and we will be conducting our officer elections. And unfortunately, I hope more people would have joined, but it is the first meeting back since winter break. So we'll see how it goes. And if anyone else happens to join later in today's meeting and would like to sign up, we can also conduct the rest of the officer elections later this meeting or in a future meeting as well. All right. Do any of you have any questions before we begin? All right, great. In that case, I would like to remind you guys that each of the candidates will deliver a brief speech, usually about 2 to 3 minutes long. And you guys are actually allowed to run for a max of 2 roles. So I see some officer positions have two people sign up. So if you guys would like to maybe put your name down for one of the other roles that you're interested to, I highly encourage you to do that as well. And then we will also just be doing, I believe, the poll system. So maybe Caleb could help set that up since I know he's great at that. Okay, if there are no questions, then we can go ahead and get started. Actually, I'm going to, before each role, I will read a brief description of each of the roles being run for, and then I will hand it off to the candidates to say their brief candidate speeches. And I believe, if my memory is correct from 6 months ago, we will start off with the president position. So the president is responsible for training all officers and meeting roles, coordinating with the advisors as needed, overseeing and facilitating club meetings, updating advisor notes, announcing club news, uh, as well as overseeing and working alongside the officers to help them with their tasks, ensuring all of those tasks are finished on schedule and sending reminders if necessary, and also etc., if other workshop coordinations or other activities or events occur. And I believe currently we have one candidate sign up for president, who is Angelina. Before I hand it off to Angelina, I would like to ask, is there anyone else who would like to run for president? Okay. If not, then Angelina, the stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Claire, for the introduction. So one day I opened my computer, logged into my Zoom account, and joined the FLGC meeting. I expected to see the names that I was familiar with, but instead I found myself looking at a Zoom meeting with only 5 to 6 members. On top of that, I had to serve as the interim president that day, since both the president and the vice president were absent. So I decided to wait a few minutes to see if anyone would join, but eventually I decided to start the meeting. Even though a lot of roles needed to be filled, the meeting was still able to run smoothly in the end, and I was able to communicate clearly and work with the other members and officers to work something out. Good evening, everyone. My name is Angelina Zen, and today I am running for the opportunity to be the president of FLGC. But why should you vote for me? It's simple. I have the experience and skills. Effective communication and teamwork skills are crucial for a president to have, which I have shown in the situation I previously mentioned. Besides this, I also have good organization and planning skills. To prove this, I will tell you that I'm currently in 8 extracurriculars, including FLGC, but I'm still able to exercise, finish my assignments on time, and get good grades. Most importantly, I have a clear vision for the future of FLGC. I want to be able to help FLGC grow and continue to thrive by recruiting new members, bringing in more speakers to host workshops, leading more fun meetings, and possibly collaborating with other clubs as well. Besides having the necessary skill set, I also have experience. I have served as both the Vice President of Education and Secretary, both of which require good time management. As the Vice President of Education, I had to make sure that the agendas were ready for each meeting and send out 2 weekly emails. As the Secretary, I had to take note of all the absences and attendees during each meeting, while also assisting and helping the meeting run smoothly. Moreover, having served as both the Vice President of Education and Secretary means that I will be able to mentor future members that want to take these positions. Additionally, since I have served as the Vice President, I also have experience serving as the Interim President, which will help future meetings run with little conflicts. As the potential president of FLGC, I really hope to be able to continue running this club like it is now, while also bringing in new members and speakers. I will make sure to implement any advice or suggestions we receive from guests and members, as well as update documents, meetings, and anything else accordingly. Overall, I would make a good president because not only do I have a good sense of responsibility, good communication and organization skills, I also have the needed experience. I am able to efficiently communicate with others to resolve sudden conflicts that may arise, and I will also be able to guide future officers of FLGC, which will help our club grow steadily. Thank you for considering me as a candidate for president of Future Leaders Gavel Club, and I hope to watch FLGC continue to grow and thrive under my leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelina, for a wonderful speech. And last call, is there any other candidate who would like to run for president before we initiate the voting? Okay. In that case, Caleb can help put up the poll. And I know this is a very difficult decision to make, so think very hard and we shall vote.
All right, I'll give 15 more seconds for everyone to vote. And okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the results are in, and congratulations, Angelina is officially our next FLGC president. Congratulations, Angelina. Back to you, Claire.
Yay! Congratulations, Angelina, for being our next FLGC president for the next 2026 term. And I will now be passing my torch on to Angelina. And then, as for the next officer election, will be for the Vice President of Education. And currently, we have Eliana just signed up for this role. Is there anyone else who would be interested to run for Vice President of Education? All right, in that case, I will go ahead and read some of the description and then I'll pass it to Eliana. So the Vice President of Education is responsible for helping to set up club meetings and assign meeting roles. They will also send out the weekly reminder and agenda emails and manage the club schedule. They will ensure standard naming and remind the video on policy at the beginning of each meeting, and other tasks coordinated with the other officers of FLGC as well. And with that being said, I would like to pass it on to Eliana. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Claire. Hello, future leaders. My name is Eliana Chong, and I am currently in 9th grade. Today, I will be running for Vice President of Education, and in this speech, I will talk about why I'm qualified for this position and what I will do in this position, while also sharing a bit about myself and my history in this club. I am qualified for this position because, 1, I can plan far in advance. As VP of Education, I will make sure that the roles are listed at least a month into the future so that you can see if you have a speech coming up and have plenty of time to prepare it. I am also good at following through, so if you need to change your role or you can't make it, I'll be sure to replace that role quickly and make sure that no roles are empty. I will not only send the meeting reminders on time, but I will also notify the speakers with separate emails so that even if you don't check the agenda or the Google Sheet, you will know if you have a speech coming up that week. Furthermore, I will encourage any new members to try new roles, as I was encouraged when I first started. When I joined a year and a half ago, I started with reading the club mission statement. And when I finally agreed to a role, I just wanted to stick with the all counter. But eventually, and over a lot of time, with support, I was able to do all the functionaries, give speeches, and not long ago actually, do my first speech evaluation. For some reason, I had thought that evaluating was the scariest job, but I was wrong, and it's completely fine. That's why I think it's important to try all of the roles. And as Vice President of Education, I will give everyone, especially the new members, a chance to try all the roles. And I think that trying all those roles myself really helped my public speaking as I not only listened to, but evaluated and counted the ums in many great speeches. Not that there were very many. Well, anyways, I hope to give that to new members as well and encourage all of you to try out new roles. Thank you for listening, and I would be honored to receive your votes.
Thank you so much, Eliana, for the fabulous speech. And now I would like to ask, last call, is there anyone who would like to be a candidate for the Vice President of Education role? Okay, if not, Caleb will put up the voting and we can again think very, very hard on this even more difficult decision.
Okay, I'll give it 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, one more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Congratulations to Eliana Chong, who will be our next Vice President of Education. Congratulations, Eliana. Back to you, Claire.
Yay! Congratulations, Eliana, for being our new FLGC VP of Education for the 2026 first term. And then moving on to the next role, VP of Membership. Unfortunately, I do not see Michelle here today for some reason. And I do not want to leave her out of the election either. So let me email her in 10 seconds. And then if she does not happen to join in the remainder of this meeting, I think we can conduct that officer election for the next meeting. And I will probably ask Michelle this as well, but Selena, is there perhaps a second role that you would like to consider in case you're not selected for VP of Membership?
What is Sergeant of Arms?
Yeah, good question. So the Sergeant at Arms is responsible for posting the mission statement at the beginning of the meeting. So I actually don't believe, if I recall correctly, I don't remember who was the last one, but as I said, they'll be posting our FLGC mission statement, and then in the Zoom chat, they will also help to post other materials and links like the agenda, any other documents, or they can help to respond to messages, etc.
I can do that.
Okay, perfect. And Selena, I'll put your name down for that. All right, and then for the people remaining here who have not yet signed up for a role, I would like to encourage you all to think about potentially signing up for one of these roles. I assure you, it is not that big of a time commitment, and I think if you ask any of our officers, I'm sure they'll tell you it has been a great experience. So, let's see. So actually, if I recall correctly, I think the first or second meeting that I joined FLGC, I remember it was also, I think, the officer elections. And if I recall correctly, I think that's when I ran for VP of Membership, I believe. So even if you are a new guest, even if this is your very first meeting, I assure you there is nothing to fear and it's all a great experience. So if any of you are interested in VP of Membership, VP of Public Relations, Secretary, or Treasurer, I highly suggest you sign up for one of those. All right. I'll ask, Shelby, are you interested at all in one of the roles?
Not really. Yeah. Maybe
Okay.
next time, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. If we, I don't think everyone is here today, probably because we're just back from break, but next week and the week after that, we can also finish off some of the other officer elections and check with everyone else. But congratulations to Angelina and Eliana. Oh, Henry, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I have a real quick question. What does treasurer do?
Yeah, great question. So Caleb was our last treasurer, so you can actually ask him.
Oh, wait, what? So like, what's a treasurer's job then?
Yeah, so basically the treasurer's job is to collect membership fee payments, which is something that we usually need to do. It's not mandatory, but it is helpful because to keep this club running, we have to pay about $200 to Toastmasters. So if you are interested in the role, basically you would connect your parents' Zelle account to the Google Sheet, the Google Doc that I currently have for paying the membership fee. And then when it comes time to pay our Toastmasters dues, if anyone wants to make a membership payment, that would help offset the cost. So you would be in charge of coordinating the payments and everything.
Right, all right. Thanks.
Okay, great. Henry, were you interested in one of the roles?
Maybe next time. I, but thanks. I think I'll be ready by then.
Okay, great. Yeah, Henry, I highly encourage you to sign up for one of the roles. I promise you, it's not as bad as you think at all. So I'm sure it'll be a great experience for all of you. And if you change your mind, you can always email us and let us know. And we'll also probably finish the rest of the elections next meeting. And with that being said, we do have about 30 minutes left. Oh, Selena?
Am I going to do the election for Surgeon of Arms, or are we just gonna?
Great point. So I was thinking because you signed up for VP of membership, would you, I guess I could leave this choice up to you. Would you like to do Sergeant at Arms regardless if you do VP of membership? So in that case, um, if you happen to win the VP of membership election, you can do both roles. Is that what you're interested in?
Yeah.
Okay, great. In that case, perfect, Selena. Then I will pass it on to you to do the Sergeant at Arms candidate speech.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to my impromptu Sergeant of Arms speech. Why would I make a good Sergeant of Arms? That is a question that many of you may ask, and I believe that I could be the best Sergeant of Arms, as also I am the only person currently signed up. But why should you choose me to be your Sergeant of Arms at Future Leaders Gavel Club? Well, in the Surgeon of Arms description, we need to A, post the club mission statement, which I can very easily do, and I can do it and I can try to do it every single time in the club. As I noticed that has been lacking currently, as on most of our meetings, we do not get the club mission statement sent into the chat. The second thing that the Surgeon of Arms does is answer any questions that the chat may ask. That is also something that I can accomplish because I know answers to a lot of the questions, and if not, I can easily find them. And and I'm on the chat very often, so I can answer any of your questions easily and clearly, so you can understand everything. But why do I want to be Surgeon of Arms? Well, at first, I was going to choose VP of Membership because that's what I did before. And that's what I wanted to do at first because it was the only thing that I was really comfortable in. So, why have I suddenly decided to choose Surgeon of Arms? I felt that I needed to go out of my comfort zone. I just went out of my comfort zone to be VP of Membership, and I wanted to do it again. So, please and thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope I'll receive your vote and all your votes to be your very own Surgeon of Arms.
Thank you so much, Selena, for a fabulous speech. And I'd like to do a last call for the position of Sergeant at Arms. Is there anyone else interested to run for this position? Okay, if not, then we shall begin the voting. And yet again, this is such a difficult decision, a lot of thinking today that we must do.
All right, well, I will call the poll ended, and the winner is Selena, back by popular demand. So congratulations, Selena. And I will pass it back to Claire.
Thank you, Caleb. And congratulations, Selena, for being our new Sergeant at Arms for the 2026 first term. And congratulations yet again to Angelina, Eliana, and Selena. And then next week, we will probably finish off the three officer positions left. So if any of you here happen to change your mind, you can put your name in anytime, and you're free to always ask any questions to our previous officers. All right, with that being said, we still do have about half an hour left. And today, I know we are actually joined by a new member, Saran. Correct me if I mispronounced your name, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I can introduce myself. So, shall I start my introduction?
Yeah, that would be great. So actually, I think I saw in the email that you said you could do, or you would be interested to do an icebreaker speech. Do you have that prepared right now?
Yes, I have the icebreaker speech prepared.
Okay, perfect. In that case, you can just start off with the icebreaker speech. So super happy to have you as a new member in our club, and the stage is yours.
So, curiosity was the thing that first introduced me to the world of technology. So, hello everyone, I'm Sarang Menon and I'm from India. I study in grade 9 and I have a strong interest in GK and technology. Um, I'm currently proficient in programming languages such as Python, C, C++, C Sharp, Java, JavaScript, TypeScript, Dart, Kotlin, and R. Along with this, I am also deeply interested in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning, web development, blockchain, and app development. And one of my biggest achievements in exploring technology beyond my school curriculum is that I have completed robotics till level 6 and I have done short courses from Indian Institute of Technology IIT and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and also diploma in MS Excel. And I also build projects and learn continuously. So I have developed logical thinking, problem solving skills, and confidence by building real world projects. And these experiences have taught me that learning becomes more meaningful when it is driven by curiosity. I wanted to join Toastmasters Gavel Club um, to improve my communication skills and confidently share my ideas as I continue growing in technology and in life. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction icebreaker speech. That was a wonderful speech, given it was your first in FLGC. So, congratulations, and definitely, I also agree that curiosity is so important for learning. And in Toastmasters and public speaking, curiosity and sharing our voices with others is also very important. Okay. So, with that being said, welcome, Saran, to our club. And with the remaining time we have left in today's meeting, we could potentially do a vote. So, either we could do traditional table topics for the rest of the meeting, or we could do some mini debates, and I could come up with some of those fun, interesting questions. Or we could do any other idea that you guys may have. Okay. Do any of you have any ideas? So maybe we can raise our virtual hand. So for those of you who would like to do table topics for the rest of the meeting. Okay. And then what about mini debates? Okay. 3 people. All right. And then for those of you who didn't vote, do you guys have any other idea or something you guys would like to try? All right. If not, then we can do some mini debates. And do you guys have any inputs on how we want to structure this? Like similar to last time, or what are your guys' thoughts?
We could do it similar to last time, but shorter.
Okay. By shorter, could you elaborate?
I'm pretty sure what we did, was it 3 minutes or 2 minutes for a constructive last time? We could shorten it to a minute 30 or just a minute.
All right, so okay, give me a second. Okay, so for this mini debates, would you guys want to pair up and do it like kind of like we did last time, or do you guys want to maybe do like a solo thing, or what do you guys think? Or how about we do first a raise of hands of who would be interested to participate? Okay. Uh, Angelina, do you want to participate?
Yeah, sure. I can participate.
Okay, great. And then, Saran, if you're there, would you like to participate? I think I saw your hand up earlier. Okay, he might be gone. Um, but we could count him in. In that case, anybody else? Henry, would you like to participate?
Which role?
Just in the mini debates. So,
Sure.
okay, great. So Henry's also in, so I think that's 7 people. Uh, anyone else? Okay. Angeline, you're asking how we're going to determine who would be taking. Oh, so for the other officer roles that we didn't get to today, we will conduct the finished elections next meeting because I assume it's the first meeting of the new year, so some people may be unavailable to join for today, or there might be some new people next time who would like to sign up. So we can continue pushing that in the email. And then actually at the end of today's email, maybe we will have some time at the end, maybe around 5 to 10 minutes. We can meet really quickly with, I think, the 3 new officers who were elected today, and then just go over some of that information. And then, yeah, thank you, Jack, for asking the question, and welcome to Toastmasters and FLGC. So in terms of, yeah, essentially Selena answered your question, which is great. So it's like, yeah, like she said, small debates, that can be in pairs. So 2 people against 2 people, or it could be 1 person against 1 person. And yes, there is a pro and a con side. So there's usually some kind of argument or question. And then the pro side would basically be your agreeing with that statement or question. And then the con side is basically you're opposed to that. And then sometimes you don't get to choose. So it's based on random draw. Thank you, Caleb, for the proposed debate question. I think we can do that for tonight's mini debate. And then I think we did have 7 people who are interested. Um, trying to think. Would anyone like to be solo? We could do, or what are your thoughts? We could do paired debates 2 against 2, and then maybe um oh, actually that wouldn't work out. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, we only have like 18 minutes left, so
How much people um how much people are doing the debate? Sorry, I didn't hear.
Yeah, I think 7 people raised their hand.
I think we could team up because we don't have much time left.
Yeah, great point. In that case, let's team up, and then I'm trying to think because there would technically be 3 rounds and then 1 more person left. So one of the pairs that went previously could go again. Wait, actually, yeah. If that sounds good to you guys, so we could pair each other up. Let me actually, I don't think we have that much time, so I'm not going to get a wheel, but I will just quickly assign people into pairs. So, first of all, I would like to ask, is there anyone who would be okay with debating as like a solo person? Selena? Okay, great. Let me write that down. All right, and then for the rest of the teams, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. did I count wrong? Were there, hang on. Oh wait, Shelby, did you say you were interested in the debate?
No.
Okay, so, oh, actually, I think there are 6 people. Okay, I may have miscounted. So in that case, that actually works out perfectly. So it's an even number. So Selena, you don't have to um, do it solo, but I think uh, Henry and Angelina, you guys can be a team, and then Selena and Eliana, and then Caleb and Saran, if that sounds good to you guys. Okay, great. In that case, um, for Caleb's proposed topic, should macaroni and cheese be eaten with a fork or spoon? That will be our first mini debate. And because it was Caleb's proposed topic, Caleb and Saran will be on one of the sides. I'll do a draw for that, and then if it's pro or con side, and then I guess by raise of hands, would any of the other teams be interested in this prompt? Okay.
By the way,
And
you
that,
can choose a completely different prompt if you're not interested. That was just a thought.
Eliana, do you want to do this?
I could do it.
okay,
Okay, we
perfect.
can do it.
All right. Give me a second. Let me spin my wheel. Okay. All right. Um, in that case, Caleb and Saran will be arguing that macaroni and cheese should be eaten with a fork. And then Selena and Eliana, you two will be arguing that it should be eaten with a spoon. All right. And then how much time would you guys like to prepare for this? Given we don't have much time left.
Do we need to prepare for this? Because I think we could go right into it because it's an easier question.
Yeah.
Okay, great. If you guys are confident with it, then we could just get started right away. So, um, let's just say the fork side is first. So, however you guys want to split it.
Or am I gonna be, does the fork side or the spoon side start first?
The fork side starts first.
I can go ahead and start. Sarang, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I think you can start and I will be the second speaker.
Okay, sounds great. Future leaders. Macaroni and cheese should be eaten with a fork. And here is why. From many, many ages back, a fork has been a symbol of power. And using a fork on your macaroni and cheese is going to be productive in 2 ways. The first way is that the prongs on the fork are going to be able to easily catch the macaroni and cheese, and this will in turn be able to let you eat much more macaroni and cheese. But the second advantage of the fork is the fact that the 3 prongs have holes. And while my opponents will probably say that that's such a bad thing because you won't be able to eat any of the cheese that makes macaroni and cheese, I will already beforehand suggest that that is something very good. I'm not sure if any of you have read the ingredients of Kraft macaroni and cheese, but it's not great. And if you can just minimize that cheese sauce, that doesn't really taste that great because it's actually really concentrated, a fork will be your friend. But with a spoon, you have no choice but to eat all of that unhealthy, greasy, and cheesy substance. Therefore, I am of the strong belief that forks should be used to eat macaroni and cheese. And like those peasants who pioneered the pitchfork in the Middle Ages, macaroni and cheese should only be eaten with a fork. Thank you, and back to you.
I agree. Thank you, Caleb. And then right before we continue, I just want to clarify how many minutes each portion is. Are you doing it like 1 minute, or like 2 minutes? Or
We could do 2 minutes first speaker and then 2 minutes second speaker.
okay, great. And then rebuttals can be 1 minute, I assume. All right. In that case, yeah, Selena or Eliana, onto you guys.
Should macaroni and cheese be eaten with a fork or a spoon? Well, mac and cheese, as it's called, should be eaten with a spoon because forks, they're just too they're just too aggressive and they destroy things. If you stab the mac and cheese a million times, you don't get to enjoy the nice shape of the macaroni, and you just get some, I don't know, mashed up pasta or something. But with a spoon, you can scoop a whole bunch of mac and cheese and put it in your mouth without destroying it. And if there's a lot of cheese in it, it will all stick together so you can enjoy all the flavors together. Well, Caleb brought up something about cheese and its unhealthiness. I believe that cheese is very good, in fact, and you should eat all of it. So a fork will not allow you to eat that, but a spoon will. So therefore, mac and cheese should be eaten with only a spoon and not a fork. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliana. And then on to Saran for the rebuttal.
I believe that macaroni and cheese should be eaten with a fork because I because I do believe that a fork keeps our fingers free from the melted cheese and it maintains cleanliness of our hands. And when we eat macaroni accompanying with cheese and sauce, it could make our hands sticky and it could create a mess. So I think when we eat macaroni with fork, it would not create the messy appearance and it would keep our fingers clean and it would also support hygiene. And I also do believe that when we eat macaroni with hands, it increases the risk of spillage. The melted cheese along with macaroni could spill, but when we eat it with a fork, it reduces the risk of spilling it out. So I think um, a fork is also considered a good table manners in many areas, and especially when we consume it in a social area such as a restaurant or a party. There a lot of people promote a lot of people like to eat with fork because it is considered a good table manner rather than eating with our hands. So this is why I do believe that that macaroni and cheese should be consumed with fork rather than a spoon.
Thank you. And then on to Selena.
Hello, future leaders and future macaroni with spoon eaters. I am here to tell you why, at the superior spoon side, why we believe that macaroni should be eaten with spoons. And I'm talking to all of you here. You guys probably have busy schedules, you need to get somewhere, and you decide to pop a bag of mac and cheese for 5 minutes and you decide to eat it with a fork. You have to take each of the three prongs. There's only three prongs That is the problem. 3 pongs can take about 3 mac and cheeses. We can only take 3 of them. For those of us who have a busy schedule and are eating this to fill up the time and need a full stomach, we need to eat faster than 3 macaronis a bite. And that's why I introduced to you a magical thing called the spoon. Why is a spoon so much better than a fork, you ask? It can take up the delicious gooey cheese. And no, it doesn't have to be Kraft mac and cheese. In the question slash statement, they just said macaroni. It could be very good Parmesan cheese. It could be fancy cheese that you would like to eat because you spent your money to eat the mac with the cheese. Mac and the cheese. Using this spoon, you can achieve a lot more mac and cheese and get the gooey cheese, which will fill your stomach in time for you to run out the door because you're late for another class. Secondly, they made the point that a spoon is that a fork is better because it's it it's it's good table manners. A spoon is also good table manners, and it helps with you and royalty, peasants, everybody alike uses spoons. It's not that hard to have a spoon, and so on that argument, spoons would definitely win. The other thing is that and why is the reason that forks are bad? Well, first of all, forks, as I said earlier, forks can only carry 3 things. But not only can they only take up 3 pieces at a time, they also have holes. When you are eating, you'll pull it up to your mouth, and if there's any small bit of cheese, it'll leak out. That makes you to have to crane your neck and bend your back. I've always been told I had bad posture, so doing that is not good. Why you could have a spoon that doesn't have any holes where your food could leak back onto your plate and you'll have to take it back over again. So do use the superior spoons. The time management superior and the best way to eat macaroni and cheese.
All right, thank you very much, Selena. And then we will go ahead and conduct a quick voting. So Caleb can now put up the poll. And then for those of you, actually everyone can vote. So even if you debated, you can vote. And yeah, and then we'll give it a few seconds. And then for today, we probably maybe could do one more mini debate. And then for the other team that did not go, we can save you guys for next meeting if we have time.
All right, only 6 have answered. So I'll give it 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the results are in. Congratulations to Team Spoon. And we will now get back on with the meeting.
All right, thank you, Caleb, and great job to both teams and Team Spoon for winning the macaroni debate. All right, and then for this next one, we'll try to keep it short, so everyone try to stay under your time limit. I think I was trying to put up the timer earlier, but it did not work. But for this next argument, which is, are pets better than siblings? So again, the question is, oh, yeah, Selena, you can go. Bye. All right. So again, the question is, are pets better than siblings? All right. And then for this one, I believe we have Angelina and Henry left. So you guys can, I suppose, Caleb and Saran, would you guys be okay with debating again?
Since we are short on time, what if we just did Angelina and Henry solo?
Yeah, that's a great point. So, great point. I think Angelina, yeah, and Henry, you guys could debate against each other. So, similar thing like constructives and then a quick rebuttal. Again, the question is, are pets better than siblings? And for this debate, Angelina, you are the pro side, so you're arguing that pets are better than siblings. And then Henry, you are the con side, so you're arguing that siblings are better than pets. Okay, so Angelina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Claire, for the introduction. So, I believe that pets are better than siblings for a multitude of reasons. And I'm saying this as someone who has a younger sister. Well, pets, first of all, they provide a lot of companionship and they will be there for you during your hardest times. And they also won't judge you like your sibling may judge you. And pets also provide a lot of emotional support as well. Other than that, pets also are, you have to take care of them, but it is worth it because pets will give you a lot of happiness. And when you come home, you'll always look forward to something happy and look forward to seeing your pet again. Additionally, I think pets are they're better overall, they're just better people to confide in than siblings. And whenever you feel like you have no one to talk to or you just need a break, your pets will always be there for you. And overall, I think pets are a lot less annoying than siblings as well. And they also provide a lot of emotional stability in general as well. So thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Angelina. And then Henry, the floor is yours.
All right. So, what the reason I think siblings are better than pets is because while pets do provide some emotional support, humans have been evolving with siblings for millions of years. We learn from our siblings. Sure, we get into fights and they're annoying, but pets scratch you and hide from you and sometimes run away. Despite all these, your siblings usually help you learn. Also, if you have good siblings and you all support each other, you'll have an even better family and you can talk to your siblings and you will all be able to learn how to interact with people. Also, because you are raised together with your siblings, you have a much more intimate bond than most pets. And also, because they are also people just like you can communicate everything and know they understand.
Thank you, Henry. And then Angelina, you can do a quick rebuttal.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. So, Henry, you mentioned that pets often scratch you, bite you, and run away. Well, my sister does the same, and she also turns violent sometimes. So I would say that siblings have the same chance of doing that to you as pets would. So that's not really a valid argument. Also, pets, although they can't talk, pets talk through emotion, and a lot of people feel closer to their pets than they do with their family, just because sometimes humans have a lot of things to say, and it's just sometimes very hard to deal with others people's opinions as well. But pets are a companion that can stay with you for a very long time, and they also will learn to trust and love you over time. And it's a mutual relationship, which also has been proven to lower stress and reduce anxiety. And also, if you have a pet, you have a cute pet to show off to other people, which is an extra benefit.
Thank you, Angelina. And then finally, Henry.
Well, pets have a major problem. Most of them don't live any longer than 20 years, which means you'll have to deal with the grief of your new companion's death every once in a while. Siblings, in the meantime, will be there right beside you for supporting you for most of your life. Also, while some people do have very intimate bonds with animals, mm, well, some people do have very intimate bonds with animals. Pets usually don't understand what their owners say, which means that you may actually need to talk to a real person who can understand you and help you with whatever you're going through, and which could potentially end with a better result. Also, pets rarely help their owners, and it makes sense to favor siblings from an evolutionary perspective, as they've been one of our few sources of support throughout all the millions of years humans have been on this planet.
All right, thank you so much, Henry and Angelina, for a great debate. And then we can go ahead and do a quick voting to decide if pets are truly better than siblings.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and it looks like the winner of this debate was pets, and siblings was a very close second, however. I thought that was very well argued. So thank you, everyone, for your input, and I'll pass it back to President Claire.
All right, thank you so much, Caleb. And I know we are a bit over time, but thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to say a big thank you to you all for a very successful 2025. I know that I actually had to run for 2 terms because we unfortunately did not have anyone interested to be present for second term of 2025. But so glad that for 2026, Angelina will be our new FLGC president, and our other elected officers today, Eliana and Selena. And then we will do the rest of the officer elections next week. But again, congratulations to all of you officers. And thank you so much, everyone, for a very successful 2025. I hope you all enjoyed the FLGC experience as much as I did. And with that being said, I do not want to spend any more of all of your precious evening time. And for our newly elected officers, since it's a little later today, instead next week we can follow up and maybe talk about some of the new roles once we have everyone elected. But otherwise, we will see each other next week. And then for the next meeting, I can have Michelle send out the agenda email. And then the following weeks, Eliana, I think you would help with that. All right. Any comments or concerns? Okay, if not, then cheers to 2026, and we will see each other next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week.